the city of New York's plan to help quell the violence going on. They've been stabbings, shootings, you name it, in New York City's bodegas, the little grocery stores. The answer to that, to stop this epic crime wave epidemic, is to install panic buttons. Panic buttons. Let's get into it. Here we go. Here's a couple of those stories that have been out there.
Yeah, Tashani and Robert, still a lot of questions surrounding this investigation. It's unclear, for example, right now, if that 14-year-old boy knew his attackers or if it was random
stabbing.
That police this morning are looking for two suspects, both last seen wearing red and black hooded sweatshirts with ski masks on. We know this all went down, according to investigators, at 7 o'clock last night on the sidewalk between 43rd and 44th Street and 8th Avenue. That teenage boy was stabbed just above the left eye. He was initially taken to Bellevue Hospital and
right here. Just
been stabilized. Investigators cordoned off the area with crime scene tape as they searched for evidence, but so far no arrests have been made. Less than 2 hours earlier, police responded to a fatal stabbing in Inwood involving 3 people. It happened at 5:30 yesterday inside a bodega at West 212th Street and Broadway. Investigators say a 20-year-old man was slashed in the neck and taken to Harlem Hospital and saved
the neck.
A 4-year-old man was also stabbed in the neck. He later died at the hospital. A third person, 21 years of age, was stabbed in the hand and back. He was taken to the hospital in stable condition. Those 3 men were reportedly involved in a dispute inside the bodega before the violence broke out. Sources telling us one of the 2 survivors is now under arrest. Here's what.
Shocker.
I'm very sad to understand this is still continuing in the neighborhood.
I've never seen nothing like this. And now I'm terrified to even walk through here with my children.
Here's our panic video. So, I mean, when I'm covering this story, I'm thinking, 500 panic buttons. It's not bad, but what's it really going to do? It's one more tool, right, that can be used to fight this kind of crime. But by the time this activity already happens, you get somebody stabbed in the, right here. It's already happened, right? You're counting bodies at that point. Maybe it helps communicate to the police officers, the police department that, hey, something really bad's going on. But if you don't have enough cops are all allocated to all kinds of crazy crime going on throughout your city. Is this really going to have much of an impact? I don't know. I mean, my inclination is to say, nice try, but at least it's a try, right? It's a try in the right direction. Let's hear the story here.
Adams answered the calls for more security at bodegas across New York City. He directed more than $1 million in funding to equip hundreds of bodegas across the 5 boroughs with silent shield buttons that call the NYPD in the event of an emergency. Eyewitness News reporter Kimberly Richardson spoke to a bodega worker after the announcement.
Thank you. Thank you from the bottom of our hearts.
United Bodegas of America spokesperson Fernando Mateo is elated. Potentially life-saving technology he's been pushing to get put in bodegas for years is now a go.
The money's being allocated. We will ask the mayor to try to find it from discretionary funds so that we can start tomorrow. There's no reason why we can't start tomorrow.
Today, Mayor Eric Adams announced $1.6 million will be set aside for silent shield technology, so-called panic buttons. The move comes after a series of recent violent incidents, some deadly, inside bodegas in the 5 boroughs. Here, a gang of suspects dressed up like NYPD officers stormed into a store in Bed-Stuy, roughed up the workers, and robbed them. Inside this bodega in Inwood last month, 2 employees huddled in a corner as a knife fight broke out.
All right. So picture this. Picture that you are this guy right here, this dude right here, or this dude right here. You are banging on a panic button as this is going on. And the police are like, oh my God, there's a stabbing going on. They come, they roll in 5 minutes later, 10 minutes later. These guys are off, done, gone, away they go. But I mean, maybe it's a matter of getting police there sooner than later. Hey, we've got a real hot stabbing or shooting or beating or brawl or whatever it is going on. Need you guys to get their stat. Look at what's happening. And you can see on the screen the panic button. I'm sure it's tied into the security cams that they have in each of these stores. But there have been just so many incidents of small business, not just bodegas, but small business in New York City absolutely taking a beat down because criminals know they're going to be able to get away with this. I mean, Governor Hochul put, National Guard, extra police down in the subway system because it got so violent. You've just got this criminal activity that has just exploded, and there's no way to really quell that without arresting a ton of people and putting them away for a while. Just not happening. And that's not happening in New York City. So the best we can do is a panic button. All right. Okay. We'll just see how it goes, right? Panic button.
Right in front of them, a 24-year-old was killed. Under the new initiative, if something
horrible
goes down, all workers have to do is press the button and officers in the local precinct will be alerted.
When you do the combination.
All right. They'll be alerted. Okay. I get that. And then what? And then what? All right. That's the disconnect for me. It's like, this isn't a magic saving button, but it is a tool, and I'm all for it. But it's kind of like, hey, we keep doing these little Mickey Mouse, solutions that aren't really attacking the root of the problem, which is that criminal behavior goes unabated because the criminals know they can get away with it. You've got terrible policy in these big blue Democrat-run cities, and this is the end result. And the best that they can do is install a panic button. It's not going to stop anything, but it's going to maybe help find the bad guys. Yeah.
It's going to give you access to the cameras in the store to see what is taking place and how we could get an immediate response.
Here at Sal's Deli on the Lower East Side, Abdul welcomes the new program.
People got shot, killed. Sometimes you got robbed, and the police never responds quick. They always come like 3 or 4 hours late.
The new technology will go into roughly 500 bodegas here in the city, but in a strategic move, the locations will not be announced.
We're not telling you where this is going in. For obvious reasons, we want to keep this on the down low. Do you guys remember when I did the story on the fog machine? Do you remember the fog machine? Was that San Francisco? I think it was. The fog machine. They were having so many break-ins. I'm pretty sure it's California, San Francisco. They were having so many break-ins that they thought, all right, if the bad guy comes in and he's trying to rob us, all we got to do is hit the button, fog machine goes off, just layers up the entire commercial unit, the store, with a whole bunch of fog. And then, the thief, he can't remember which way the door was, so he can't get out. He's just stumbling around in the dark in the fog. The fog from the fog machine. Remember that one? That didn't take off either, did it? No. Yeah. Weird, right? Weird. Nah, these are tiny little Band-Aids for a much, much larger issue, which is just criminal activity has been allowed to just kind of do its thing. I mean, look at the southern border as an example of a national deal. I just let them come on in. It's all good. Come on in. It's all good. Hey, go ahead and rob a store. It's all right. I mean, we've got some police protection. Your odds are slightly less than 50-50 of getting caught, but, go ahead and do your criminal activity. Having the conversation with my son, Kieran, yesterday that folks here in Bellevue area are feeling the impacts of criminal activity happening. People's cars are getting broken into. People are being robbed. Factoria, which is just to the south of me here, kind of a little community, South Bellevue, just south of downtown Bellevue. It's its own distinct little area. Had like a 70-year-old woman get basically robbed at gunpoint. Kind of stuff didn't happen But criminals in Washington state know, with a judicial system that is extremely, extremely lenient with criminals, you get busted in Washington state, you know what? We believe you're a good person, and get out there, Tiger, next time and do better. Just try to keep the robbing down to a minimum. Try and keep the accosting of the 73-year-old woman. Just bring that down a notch, right? Bring that down a notch. Maybe attack a woman in her 50s next time, because she'll have a little bit better chance of fighting back. I'm not really sure, but hey, we believe in you, Tiger. Get out there and do your thing. It's what it feels like in Washington state, because, we're doing all this crazy stuff. And in the meantime, you've just got a bunch of criminal activity happening, and you're like, what is going on? Or how about the homeless just running around living wherever? Just wherever, do your thing, run around with swords, just nutty stuff. So when I see these headlines, panic buttons coming to about 500 New York City bodegas, all I can think of is that is a tiny, tiny little Band-Aid on a wide open, ruptured whatever. You know what I mean? Let's fix this with tiny little Band-Aid. No, not happening. Not happening. Panic buttons soon be installed. 500 bodegas. Sunday, Mayor Eric Adams announced $1.6 million be set aside. Silent Shield technology, name of the panic buttons that will be deployed. United Bodegas of America. We heard Fernando Mateo talk and say that he's ready to get in and get them going already. Another thing we had. We've got money going to here in the state of Washington is the strippers' bill of rights. So now they're going to have panic buttons now in their dressing rooms in case some patron gets out of control. Hit a panic button. Somebody might come. I mean, who's really going to come? Because all I hear about, to me, you've got a panic button. All right. You got that whole video thing going. Okay. Cops can see that. But, you're only a phone call away. Everybody's got a phone now. You've got more connectivity than ever. And it seems like the police response time is slower than ever. And that's because you don't typically have enough cops, and there's so much activity happening that these police they're not able to beat Johnny on the spot or Susie on the spot, whatever it is, right? Just get there. They're not able to do that. It's not like they're just sitting around going, well, yeah, I'm only going to respond to 2 out of every 3 calls today. They go when they're called, and they have the time to do it. So this whole thing here, it's kind of like, I'm not going to get excited because I don't think it's ultimately going to do much. But it's better than nothing, I guess, would be the bottom line. Better than nothing. The money is now being allocated, and we'll ask the mayor to try and find it from discretionary funds. We heard him say that, so we can start tomorrow. This is one of those programs you probably could, because the technology is in place. A great example of not using technology is Let's Go Brandon Johnson in Chicago, not using the ShotSpotter technology because the far left has deemed that technology to be racist. I don't know if you know anything about ShotSpotter, but it identifies when a gunshot goes off. And so automatically the far left, which Let's Go Brandon Johnson of Chicago, mayor of Chicago, they say, well, guns go off a lot in the lower economic neighborhoods, in the hoods. And as a result, people of color are impacted far greater by this use of technology. And I'm just like, well, maybe that's where the shootings are happening, genius. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, that's where they're happening. People are running around shooting each other. How about South Chicago? How about you just litter bomb them all over South Chicago? Well, we don't want to do that because they're going to be set off too often. That was literally one of the arguments against having ShotSpotter technology is they're going to go off too often. Well, that's because people are using the streets of South Chicago as a shooting range. No glasses, no ear protection needed. Just take your handgun out and load up. Just shoot whatever you want to. It's all good. But no, we can't do that because it's racist and, the impacts might be overreaching. So And then the article goes on to talk about the incidents where in New York City, the suspects dressed up like officers. That's got to be an additional charge, doesn't it? I'm pretty sure impersonating a police officer, illegal. Yeah, I would think, I would hope. It's got to be more than a misdemeanor, doesn't it? Last month, 2 employees huddled in the corner of an Inwood, Manhattan bodega as a knife fight broke out right in front of them. We saw that footage of those 2 guys. That's where I got out the little yellow thing, pointer. I'm like, what if you're one of these guys and you're hitting the panic button? Cops can see what's going on. You know, by the time they watch that video and those guys run out the door, boom, everybody's gone. Damage has happened. So I don't know. Is it much ado about nothing? It's not much ado either. It's these stores, they want to take whatever protections they can get because they feel like they're basically, their taxpayers' dollars are not going to a police presence that really does anything. In 500 bodegas, how many bodegas are there in New York City? What's the population of New York City? Millions and millions and millions. So what percentage of bodegas are getting these panic buttons? I don't know. I didn't even research that, thinking, well, it's a lot more than 500. So it's specifically just, basically a handful. So when you do the combination, it's going to give you access to the cameras in the store to see what is taking place. Half the time you can't tell, right? You got a scuffle right in front of you. You have no idea what you're looking at. You have no idea. But all right, at least now the police are going to be able to see, hey, 2 guys wrestling. Oh, guy's got a knife. Uh-oh, he just plunged to just above the left eye of that young gentleman. That's not good. Let's send out the EMT and let's get going, boys. Let's go and do yet another stabbing. And the last comment I wanted to focus on, this is the guy at the end of the video talking about the installation of these deals. People get shot, killed. Sometimes you get robbed, and the police never respond quick. They come 3 or 4 hours late. Okay? Is this going to speed that process up? Does New York City have the police resources to do that? I mean, there's got to be some kind of cause and effect of why we're doing this other than, a big PR stunt. Because I understand that as well. That's what we're doing. All right. Is that going to do anything? No, probably not. But hey, let's do it anyway. Where was it? Was it Chicago? Was it Chicago that wanted to install traffic barricades so that people hauling out of their neighborhood? No, that was Portland. Oh, that was that absolute nut job, Joanne Hardesty. Yeah, wanted to have she was a Looney Tune. Wanted to have all right, people are peeling out of this neighborhood after doing drug dealer and shooting at each other. So the way we're going to stop crime is we're going to slow them down so they don't hit anybody on their way out of the neighborhood after they've committed their crime. Traffic barricades. Yeah, we're going to direct traffic. We're going to have them slow down because after that stabbing, after that shooting, you're just want to floor it and get out of there, right? It's like, what's wrong with you? How about we just go after the root cause? Well, you can't because it's such a bigger systemic issue, isn't it? Yeah, you've allowed criminal behavior to take off and here it is. And now you've got all these criminal stories. What are you going to do to put the genie back in the bottle? Now, I guess this is one small step. We'll see what else can be done. But I wouldn't be holding my breath if I'm a bodega owner that this is really going to change much, especially if it's not installed throughout all the bodegas. Just that, all right, odds are they won't have one in here. Let's go. And even if they do, and you're committing a crime, okay, so you got your face mask on, that's one of those things. I think face masks should be outlawed everywhere. Everywhere. The main mini mart I go to, Chevron here in Bellevue, as you walk in the store, they've got a picture of a dude with the face mask on, and they've got a sign that says, no face masks. Well, if a criminal wants to walk in your front door and he's wearing a face mask, are you going to tell him no when he's pointing a gun at your head? Are you going to say, I see your gun, but I gotta say something here. Did you see the sign on the door? Please take off your face mask. My cameras need to identify who you are. You know what I mean? Some of this stuff is just what are we even doing here? We're kind of half virtue signaling, but we're getting some technology that might do some good. Is it going to be a game changer? Probably not. But hey, again, it's one more tool to help the good guys. It's one more tool to put the bad guys in jail, or just give them a little bit of a time out so that, good guys can catch up. I mean, that's the hope and the wish, right? Will it work? I'm not holding my breath. All right. That's it for me on this one. Thanks so much for being here. I'll catch up with you in the next one. Bye for now.